Hi, I'm Jen from JenThereDoneThat, and many of you have asked me about an update on travel restrictions and what the lockdown is like currently in Puerto Rico. And really, like I said in a previous video, adios lockdown. From a business perspective, the lockdown is over, has been for a month or two now. We are still under heavy travel restrictions. We're still under a curfew. We've been under a curfew since the early part of March. Our curfew is currently 10 p.m., which is a big improvement over our 7 p.m. curfew. But alcohol sales stop at 7 p.m. So I'm going to go through a lot of the travel restrictions we currently have, and most of them are geared towards tourists. They're geared towards tourists and nightlife and really kind of social activities, mostly to curb tourism and to curb people going out after work and participating in what they consider to be reckless behavior. As far as businesses are concerned, the government is open. I'm able to go and get some of my permits and certifications that I need just to operate my business here on the island. There are more of the government agencies are open. They've modified their procedures. They're now taking appointments, which is the greatest thing ever. You can make an appointment to go and get your license or to renew your license, which never happened before. That was a 3-4+ hour wait. So the appointments are really good. A couple governmental permits and things that I need for my business, I would normally have to go in and wait 2 or 3 hours for someone to come and see me. I was able to email the office, tell them exactly what I needed. I got a phone call back, and I was able to complete everything over phone and email, which was a huge time saver, so much more efficient than the previous way of going in and sitting in the office and waiting for somebody to get back to me. So there are some really good things coming out of the new procedures and protocols. I was able to go to the mall yesterday. I had to pick up a couple things, and there's no appointment necessary to go to the mall, but all the stores have restrictions on how many people can be in the store at a time. So about half the time I was in the mall yesterday was waiting to go into a store. So it really encourages you to figure out, do I need something in that store, or can I skip it because I don't really want to wait in that line? So there were a few stores that there was nothing in there that I really needed long enough to wait in that line. So I skipped it. But really, from a getting back to our normal lives now consist of wearing a face mask at all times in public, hand washing stations, hand sanitizing every time you walk into a store or a restaurant, or most places in public will provide those. People are being very good about keeping the 6 feet social distancing. So that's kind of our new normal. And really, as far as work and just trying to get back to kind of our normal lives living in Puerto Rico, we're getting closer to it at least. But I did mention those travel restrictions. So we still have that curfew at 10 p.m., no alcohol sales after 7 p.m., and no alcohol sales on Sunday. So we have additional lockdown for businesses. There must be closed on Sunday. So Sunday, you can go to the hardware store, you can go to the grocery store, you can go buy gas at the gas station, you can go to the pharmacy and pick up prescriptions. Everything else is closed. Restaurants are only operating for takeout only. A lot of restaurants aren't even open on Sundays. They've just decided they're going to take the day off. So a lot of businesses are closed, and even like Walmart is open, but you can only buy certain items. You can buy food-related items, essential items, because they don't want people going to Walmart and just shopping on a Sunday. They're really encouraging people to stay home. But churches are still open. Bars and casinos are closed. and 7 days a week, so that's not even an option. Now, the beaches are open Monday through Saturday for individual exercise only. That's exactly how they presented it. So there's no sunbathing. You can't bring a chair or a cooler and hang out. I even had friends go down to Inches Beach in Patia with snorkel gear, not trying to hang out on the beach, but just to go snorkeling in the water, and they were kicked off the beach. Several other people have reported trying to go snorkeling, stand-up paddleboarding, surfing in different areas, and getting kicked off the beach. We're also seeing different municipalities are enforcing the rules separately. So even last week, Cabo Rojo implemented a 7 p.m. curfew, even though the island-wide curfew is 10 p.m. for last week. They said, nope, 7 p.m. you guys are getting out of control. 7 p.m. go home. That's your new curfew for Cabo Rojo, and it's being enforced. So beaches are very limited right now. Some people are going for a morning walk along the beach, but if you are a tourist and wanting to go to the beach and hang out, you're gonna get kicked off pretty quickly. They're definitely enforcing that. And no beach time at all on Sunday. They're really cracking down on Sundays and trying to force people to stay home and not be out and about on Sundays. I guess that's, you know, our big day for being out and about. Restaurants are back to 50% capacity. So some restaurants, you really want to call ahead and make a reservation, especially if they only have limited seating in the first place. We made lunch reservations last week, and it's a good thing we made lunch reservations for 2 o'clock because they were booked all morning prior to that, and you could not actually just walk into the restaurant and get a table because it's a very good restaurant, but it's also a very limited capacity, and they've spread their tables out so the tables are 6 feet apart, and they're only operating at half the capacity they normally could. So definitely make those dinner reservations and the lunch reservations ahead of time so that you can actually get a table and you're not waiting too long for a table. Stores and businesses, again, are open Monday through Saturday at 50% capacity. So yesterday when I went shopping at the mall, the stores were limiting how many people went in, but they were limiting to even only 50% of what their normal capacity could be. And some stores were even limiting it to, you have a personal shopper, so one of the employees is your personal shopper for your group, assisting you while you're in the store. It was actually kind of a really nice service that they offered. I was very impressed by that, but it was also so that they could watch where you were and sanitize and clean and make sure that that you were wearing your mask at all times, and that you got in, you bought what you came to buy or return what you came to return, or whatever business you had in that store, and then leave very quickly so that the people in line can now come in and do their shopping. So it's actually pretty efficient, just the wait time can get a little long. Pools and common areas in hotels, resorts, community pools, condos, completely closed. So we had a very brief period where some condos and community pools could certify their protocols, their cleaning protocols, and reopen. No, they're closed now. Bars, movie theaters, casinos, theme parks, gyms, all of that closed again. The really disappointing part is that marinas are now closed again. So there was a very brief time where day sails, catamarans and different boat day sails and day excursions were still being offered. You could bring your own snorkel gear, get on the boat, go out to Calle Huicacos or Calle Palomino, and you couldn't go onto the island, but you could get off the boat and swim around, and the boats, the excursion companies were doing sack lunches for everybody and keeping it about less than half capacity on the boat. So you had really good experience on these very limited passenger boat excursions. Those are canceled again. Like I said, they're targeting activities specifically that tourists would be interested in. So a lot of your tourist activities are closed. I did also mention in one of my last videos, El Yunque Rainforest is open. They have a new reservation system, which is incredible. But we just had Tropical Storm Isaiah hit, and that has closed the rainforest until they can clear the debris off the roads. They had a lot of mudslides, and they're evaluating the safety of those trails. So the rainforest is not closed because of COVID, it's closed because of a tropical storm right now. Hopefully we'll see that reopen by end of August or maybe September, but check the rainforest, the reservations.gov reservation system to know when it's reopened, and then you can make an appointment and go back and visit the rainforest when it reopens. All the ferries to Vieques and Culebra Islands are limited to emergency personnel and residents only. So again, this is targeting the tourists. You can't come onto the main island and then get over on the ferry service to go to Culebra or Vieques. It's residents and emergency passengers only. So they're really restricting where tourists can go and what they can do. And even though I'm a resident of Puerto Rico, I'm not a resident on Vieques or Culebra. So I can't even go there unless I'm going for emergency services. Gotta figure how to volunteer for one of those. The excursion and tour operators are closed. So whether they were day sails or hiking guides or one of the great food tour guides through Old San Juan, all of them are closed. They're shut down. Currently, the plan is that they're only closed until August 15th, but the way things have been going and, you know, our history, I would expect that to be extended another 2 weeks. We'll probably see that till the end of August and maybe beyond. So check back there. Yeah, they're saying that the opening date for external tourism is being pushed back to August 15th, but there's definitely rumors that that's going to be extended. I don't think that an August 15th date is realistic, honestly, but we'll see. Let's see here, what else? We do have electoral events. We have an election event on Sunday, August 9th, so that's allowed. They're not canceling our elections, and we have more of our election activities coming up. We do have a very different election process, well, election parties and political parties than the United States, and we do have different voting days, and everything's just a little bit different here. And as a reminder, even though we are a U.S. territory with U.S. citizens, Puerto Rican, the residents of Puerto Rico are not allowed to vote for the President of the United States. So in November, when you guys vote, we are not able to vote for the President. Sports are only allowed for small sport activities. They're really limiting what can be done. And of course, no large groups. They're fining people and giving tickets out for activities on Sundays, and they're fining people and giving tickets out for any kind of large groups or private parties. Yeah, group activities and short-term rental properties are not allowed. There's just a lot of restrictions, and we're seeing more restrictions targeted to tourism. So I've had a lot of people contact me saying, hey, I've got my trip planned to Puerto Rico. What beaches are open? What activities are open? What can I do? And really, you may want to rethink your visit to the island. Right now, the main activity that we do is go out to eat or get takeout. We are allowed outside. We're no longer on the lockdown where we have to stay at home. so we can go out. A lot of people are going hiking and walking, but again, you can walk on the beach Monday through Saturday, not on Sundays, and you can't really go to the beach and sit and swim and enjoy. What we're seeing consistently is that police and security guards are coming around and basically kicking people off the beach with about 10 minutes after people arrive is been the response time, if not sooner. So there's really just not a lot there. We're hoping that our numbers will come back down and we'll have more visitors soon, but right now, and as of July 15th, you guys should probably be aware, but as of July 15th, the PCR molecular swab, the nose swab for COVID-19, is required upon entry at the airport in San Juan. It has to be within 72 hours of taking the test to have your results. And there's an online form you can fill out when you're coming in, but if you do not have that negative test results within 72 hours of your arrival, then they will take additional information and you will be asked to quarantine for 2 weeks or until you get your test results back. And right now on the island, it is very difficult to get the testing. I had talked about in June, I was able to get my testing, I was able to get my nose swab and the blood test, and both of my results were back the next morning. Well, right now there's an island-wide shortage and throughout a lot of the United States as well, for the agents to actually process the testing. So we have very, very limited testing. They're being extremely cautious on who can get the test right now because it's in such short supply. So if you do come to the island expecting to be able to get the test here, you're probably not going to be able to get the test, and you will be in quarantine until you can get your test if you don't bring a negative test with you. Even then, the difference between quarantine and not quarantine right now is very limited because there's just not a lot open for tourists. So that's the update on travel restrictions. There's a lot, and more are being added all the time. I have a hard time keeping up with it. That's why I bring my cheat sheet. I know that more and more things are closed, and I don't think that this is going to end anytime soon. I hope that we can keep the local businesses up and operational, that we can keep the government employees working, that the businesses, our livelihood can continue. But tourism is less than 7% of our GDP. So tourism, while I feel terrible for the Airbnb owners, the restaurateurs near the tourist hotspots, the tour guides, the excursions, all of those companies, they are such a small percentage of our island's GDP that that's the piece that is being restricted right now. We hope that they can come back. I would love for those to be back available for residents of the island, but right now it's restricted. So at this point, if you are thinking about coming to visit Puerto Rico, please consider postponing your trip at least until fall. We've got a better handle on things, and you'll see the travel restrictions coming back down. Right now, we're just kind of dealing with the travel restrictions as best as we can and trying to go about our normal lives. Again, as normal as they are, with face masks and hand sanitizer everywhere and social distancing. But we are able to leave and go out to eat, go to our jobs, and continue our livelihoods for the most of us. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos from Jen There, Done That, living in Puerto Rico, more travel restrictions, and hopefully travel activities in Puerto Rico and beyond.